If this were a block building, this video would still be arguing with cement. But this is a container structure. And that's why we're talking about a commercial cafe kitchen built in 7 days. Yes, 7 days. A client contacted us to build a commercial kitchen, not a house kitchen, not a backyard setup. A proper cafe kitchen designed for food preparation, fast service, and customer-facing operation. The only issue, they needed it fast. When we assessed the location, it was clear that we couldn't build there due to several restrictions. So we did what container construction allows. We prefabricated the kitchen off-site. This is where container structures shine. A shipping container already gives you a structural frame, steel walls, and a roof. No waiting for blocks to cure, no fighting the weather. You're not starting from zero, you're starting ahead. Prefabrication simply means build where you have control, then move it where it's needed. Controlled environment, proper tools, power available. That alone cuts the timeline dramatically. Once the containers arrived, work started immediately. The first task was marking doors, windows, and service openings. Every line was measured and taped directly onto the container body. Because once you cut steel, there is no undo button. Then the cutting began. Sparks, steel removed. Now let's be clear, cutting a container affects its strength. That's not an opinion, that's physics. So immediately after cutting, we fabricated steel frames for every door and window. These frames do two critical things. First, they restore the container's structural integrity. Second, they provide a solid surface for doors and windows to sit on, because doors and windows do not float in steel, they need structure. This work didn't stop in the evening. The team continued cutting, welding, grinding through the night and into the next morning. By daylight, the container wasn't weakened, it was reinforced. These frames serve two important purposes. Restore the structural integrity of the container. Two, they create precise mounting surfaces where windows and doors can securely sit. Once the structural openings were secured, the internal transformation began. We installed light gauge steel frame throughout the interior. This framing allowed us to define the kitchen layout, provide structural backing for wall boards, and create proper routing channels for electrical and plumbing systems. At this point, the container stopped looking like a shipping box and began taking shape. Next came the hidden systems, the parts nobody sees but everybody depends on. Electrical conduits were installed for lighting, kitchen equipment, and service areas. Plumbing lines were routed for washing stations and drainage. Then we added insulation, which is extremely important in container builds. Without insulation, a container can behave like an oven under the sun and a freezer under snow. We used rock wool to insulate this build, and we insulated the ceiling and walls. With proper insulation, the kitchen remains comfortable and efficient. After utilities were installed, the interior walls were boarded. We used POP boards to board the ceilings and cement board for the walls. We covered the framing and insulation to create clean internal surfaces. At this point, the container had fully transitioned from a structural shell into a functional interior space ready for final finishing. Now let's talk about durability, because speed is good but longevity is better. Containers are made of steel, and steel, as we all know, does not enjoy moisture. We had to paint the exterior of the container, but before painting, we carried out full surface preparation, surface cleaning, filling minor imperfections, applying primer coats. After preparation, we applied industrial anti-rust coating using a spray machine, ensuring even coverage across all exterior surfaces. This process is important because it protects the structure from corrosion, extends the building's lifespan, and maintains appearance over time. By this stage, the kitchen structure had been cut, reinforced, internally framed, insulated, wired, pipe boarded, filled, primed, and coated with anti-rust protection, all completed within a controlled workshop environment. Prefabrication allowed multiple stages of work to happen efficiently without site delays, significantly reducing the overall timeline. In just 3 days, the container had already been transformed from a plain steel box into a fully structured Café kitchen module. This project clearly shows how container construction and prefabrication allow commercial spaces to be built faster, more efficiently, and with greater control than many traditional building methods, especially when time is critical and the client cannot afford delays. This video is part 1 of the full build process. In part 2, we'll show you how the kitchen was transported to the permanent site, installed, finalized, and prepared for full cafe operation. So stay tuned because the next phase is where the transformation becomes fully operational.